Hey everyone, welcome back. Don here from Adventures This Way. Let's talk about things. I got this here unit, doing some work on it. It's a 1999 400 Kawasaki KVX. Prairie, I think it's called. It doesn't look to be in too bad a shape when I first went and looked at it, but of course, I now remember why I have newer equipment. Working on older stuff gets to be a pain in the butt. Did a carb kit, replaced some fuel lines. I still don't have the idling quite right yet, but a little bit of fine tuning, we'll get there. Trying to change the tie rod ends and yeah, the one's just jammed in there, it won't come out. Fixed up these lights, they work mint, they weren't working. Redid the wiring on that. Found some new front tires for them. That was an ordeal. A lot of people are asking me about the Mudwife's 570. What kind of upgrades or mods have you done to it? Are you gonna do? Well, the answer is this. There's really nothing planned. She's very happy with it the way it is. And I gotta tell you, it works really, really well. The only real downfall is she's run out of ground clearance a few times, which is to be expected. I am super impressed with these Mega Mayhem tires in mud. They work really good. Yeah! It's a nice, warm Friday afternoon, and of course I got a ride planned tomorrow, so I want to try some clutching changes that I've done. And of course, as I go to load it up, I notice a dark spot on the floor. Look at that. I got another leaky diff seal. It's a little disheartening that I keep having to get these seals replaced. I don't know why, but just so you know, they are covered under warranty. So you pay your deductible, $56.50 with taxes, you're done. Check it out. You can see it in there, not? Can you see it? Can you see the orange? I got me a brand new Austin Cruiser rope. Now, I already had one of those, but my winch quit working and had to get it replaced. And it was replaced under warranty, which is good. She just quit. Check this out. This is the cable. I used it one day. One day and it's toast. Look at it. I had to struggle so much just to get it off the machine. And here's the funny thing. When I was using it, it was under load because I was pulling people out of the skeg field. I had to get pulled out of the skeg field too because it was super wet. It really wasn't a great idea, but we tried it. And why was I in this soupy skeg field? In one of the last videos you would have seen, I had Ryan, Joe, and Jeremy come down. They came down for the whole weekend. So we rode mud the one day, and then the next day on Sunday, we went for a bit of a tour up north of 7 and tried some skeg. They got the full experience. It wasn't the best experience, but they got the experience. All right, this tune I got, it's been a bit of a headache, but it turns out the clutching really had nothing to do with the issues. So what I've got to do now that I've got the tune sorted out and the RPM limiter is raised up to 8,800. I don't need to get it that high, but the ideal range where these 1000 engines make their power is between 7,400 and 7,600 RPM. So what does that mean? The ideal place I want to be is to hit that RPM mark when I'm in thick material. I want to be running a higher RPM, so when I get into the thick material, as it slows down, I'm in that peak power band. Now, before I had the tune done, I had the clutching dialed in pretty good. Pretty good. But I've noticed some issues, and I think part of the issue is with my secondary. The belt deflection is too tight. So we're gonna check that. I'm gonna take the clutch cover off, and then I'm also gonna show you how easy it is to make adjustments to your STM primary clutch. So I know for some people that are a little more rookies around the machine, or they don't feel very comfortable doing a lot of stuff, getting into your clutches it's really pretty easy. 3/8 ratchet with an 8mm socket. Then my other special tool is this screwdriver, this old screwdriver. It fits perfectly in here. I crack them loose with the ratchet, and then I just spin them out with this. Okay, she's ready to come off. Oh, where is it? Oh, haha! Dummy, still got one on there. Okay, now it's ready to come off. You just gotta angle it just right. Come on, make a liar out of me. Just like that. So this is the STM 3RS racing style clutch. The other popular one is the 3P, which is really designed for more low end torque. You don't get as much top end speed apparently. Ideally, you want to have your belt sitting just above. This seems like it's sitting up a lot higher than it was. And one of the big issues with this clutch, the stock one, is there's no adjustability. There's no deflection adjustability that I'm aware of. I said I was going to show you how easy it is to make adjustments on these. You got to pop the cam arm out and I'll show you how you make adjustments. Now, there is a special tool that you're supposed to get to hold this, but there are ways to do it. I'm just going to use this fancy dancy long screwdriver. I learned the benefits of a long screwdriver from Louis from Power Mods. So just slide her down through the empty holes, not the ones where the spider rides. The screwdriver is just hitting one of these supports down here for the footwells. It's torqued to 80 foot-pounds, so it's got a bit. You don't really got to get on it too hard. There she comes. Easy peasy. Just like that. So this here is the compression tool you get with your clutch. Put her in the bolt hole, tighten her down, and what it's going to do is it's going to compress the spring a little bit, and you're going to be able to get the cam arms out. Snug it up, and then just get your 7/8 wrench there. Tighten her down a little bit, and then she's just a little Allen wrench, 7/16. And these are not. See, look at this. It's not very tight. These are just ceramic bushings. I believe that's what they're called. And then work up, take our bolt out. There's nothing fancy there. Comes right out. This is your cam arms. So this is the heel, mid, tip. So the new QSC RMT clutch, it has 5 places for weight, as opposed to these ones having 3. They're very similar in how they're made. The other main difference is the clutch. The QSC is actually a little bit lighter in overall weight, so a little less rotating mass, and the actual size of the shaft and the bearing and basically wherever the belt rides down here, it's a tiny little bit smaller, so the gear ratioing is going to be just slightly different. Anyway, so what we're going to do is I got a lot of heel weight. I've got 11 on here now, 11, 3, and 3. So you just take your little Torx wrench that they give you, pop it off. So what's important to know is each cam arm has to have the same amount of weight in the same spots. That's the big key. Each one you take off is going to equal 100 RPM on each arm. So this is worth 7. These washers are worth 1. So I think I'm going to leave this one on, and I'm just going to take a couple off of here. So right now I got 7 and 4 for 11. I think I'll take this down to 8, and I'll take 1 off the tip. There's Loctite on these so that they don't vibrate loose. That's very important. Okay, so now here's the current setup. I've got 7 and 2, total 9. I left 3 in here, and then the tip, I took the tip down to 2. So I've got 9, 3, 2. So that's my current setup. I'm just gonna put this arm back in, do the exact same to the other 2 arms, put everything back together, and we'll try it out. Just that easy. And of course, don't forget to put your bolt back in and torque it. That would be a bad day if you forgot to do that, let me tell you. There you go, 80 foot-pounds. So that's how easy it is to make adjustments to your aftermarket STM primary clutch. Really not that hard, is it, eh? It really isn't. Nothing to be worried about. Like I said earlier, the benefits of having an aftermarket clutch is you can make so many adjustments depending on your riding style, the terrain and material you're trying to ride through, and the weight of your tires. If you have a heavier tire, you're going to want to go with less weight. A lighter tire, you're gonna need a little bit more. You gotta get them to balance themselves out. All right, so all I gotta do is button this thing up, put the cover back on, put the bolts in, and I'll try it out. And I will let you know how it turns out. Once I get that done, my task for today is I gotta get working on this POS. Honestly, it's been a nightmare working on it. I've had this machine here for like 2 months, maybe more. This is the intake boot that goes between the carburetor and the engine. And I kept getting air leaks. I couldn't figure out why. See where my finger is? There's a little indentation there. So one of the main issues with it would only run on choke. So that means it's getting too much air, it's too lean of a mixture. And I played with the pilot jet, I played with everything. Also had a problem with the connection for the choke. It wouldn't go in properly, it was kind of half stripped. So I got another one of those. I thought that was gonna be the solution, but it wasn't. I was still getting air leaks. And then I finally took this intake off, and it wasn't until you looked really closely at it. So while I'm working on this POS over here, why don't you check out this video I just did recently that goes through my frustrations with my machine, getting it tuned and everything. It's worth a look. See you in the next one.